In this video, we're going to look at headers. So headers are the images that we have at the top of our web pages. You can choose to have a header, not have a header, or have a splash page in Weebly. So you can have any of those options, and each page can have the same header or a different header, and each header can have text on it or not have text on it. So those are all options. So if we get a page, first of all, and have a look at it, we can see here it's a blank page with a header. So we click on the header and we can drag up and down that blue dot, and that makes your header larger or smaller. So decide on the size of the header. There's a text box automatically, a heading text box in there. You can type into that, and then that will show as text on your site. If you delete it, it says click text here, that won't show. So the text box is there, but it won't see it. You can delete the text box, and then you've just got drag elements here, and you can drag anything you want into the header. Generally, headers tend to look better, I think, blank, or with a little bit of basic text telling you what the page is. So people might have clicked on about us, and then that might just say a bit about us or about us. Then you've got various options here. You can edit the header, so we can zoom in on the image, and you can pick and choose how you want the image to be presented. You can blur the image, so you can click on that and move the blur, and you can move into completely blurred or just a little bit blurred. So you can change that as you would like. You can then darken the image as well. So you might choose to darken the image so that any white text or lighter text stands out better against it. So darkening the image will help with that. And then you can filter the image, and you can do that to any image that you've got chosen. So filtering the image, you can give it certain styles. So Gotham is quite a cool look, so a dark, moody look. And then you can go for grayscale, so obviously black and white, and then you've got standard, so just as it was before. You've got vignette, so that it just vignettes in the outside slightly, or you can lighten it up a little bit. You can also change the image. So you've got free images provided by Weebly, so you can change an image and select it, but then you can see that doesn't look quite right. So you can drag it before you save it. You can drag that up or down to center the image, as you can see with the cursor, and then hit save, and then that will save the image like so. Then you can move again. You can move the image up and down to make the size of the image for that particular page as big or as small as you want it to. You can replace header layout. So if you replace header layout, you'll lose what's already there. So you've got a blank header now, and you can see the header layout. You've got a variety of options. These are pre-designed headers, and you can change the image within those headers once you've added them. One of them has got a subscription form built into it. And so here you've got, if people wanted to, you could have, subscribe here for more, and people just fill in and hit notify me, and away you go. You can also design all of that. So you can change the size of the header again. This is the form, so you can change the form options. You can add the Google Capture. You can change the email that the form will be sent to once people click link. And I would suggest you name any form you've got so that you know where it came from on your website, and then put the email in for where you want it to be sent to. Select Google Capture so you don't get spammed, and then you can add opt-in for subscriber so that you meet the requirements required of GDPR. You can have a message which says thanks very much for subscribing. Or you can alternatively, have it go to another page, a thank you page if you like. So all of those options on form I'll talk you through later. So all of that is something that you can edit, and then you save the form. You can change the text as well, and you can change the body of the text. If you want to make it slightly smaller header, you can reduce the amount of text in the header. So you could do that by taking some of the text away, or by taking the spaces out. Okay, and then we're going to change the image again just to illustrate what we can do. And as you can see on that one, the subscription box doesn't work so well. So it's a matter of playing with it to see. I mean, obviously a darker background is going to work better with the subscription box. So have a play around with it. Decide you could put the subscription box in the body text. It doesn't have to be in the header, but you've got various options. There's all sorts of options both for the header and also layout styles for the strips or the sections, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So what I'm doing here is just reducing the amount of text in the box to get the header as small as, just to make it smaller. The header will only get to a certain size, a certain height, but if there's text in there, it can only close to a certain amount. So if you want to make it smaller, you'd need to remove some text. And of course, there's a minimum size that you can have as well. So you can play around with all of that and do what you like and just see how it looks and how it works. There's also, if you've got the right plan, you can also have video spooling in the background. So here there's a video header. Again, you can adjust the size and everything. It just makes it a little bit more dynamic. Just be aware that with video you have to be on one of the more expensive plans, and also with video, whilst they're not huge files, it does mean that they've got to load up. So you're going to have a loading time associated with the more data that you have on each page. And then you can decide which pages you want to associate that header with. So you don't have to do each page individually. You can click on the link so that each page, and decide which page is going to have that header. Now sections. So with sections you can add strips or sections onto your page itself, and then each section can have, like a header, different styles added to it. So you can have the gallery style like this, or you can have a sign up style, or you can have a number of photos with all your team members. So again, browse through it and see what you like and what you can use. And all you're doing is grabbing the template, and then you can change the photographs within that template by clicking on the photos, which we're going to show you in a little bit. So if you like the idea of something like that, that's basically one section that you scroll past in your page. And then you can move that section up and down on the page. So it doesn't have to be where you put it. You can, as long as you've got more than one section in a page, you can swap the sections. And you can move them around and see how they look. So you'll add them in normally at the top of the page, but then you can move them down the page to where you'd like them. And as you see, then you've got another strip there. So that strip can have, you can either give that a background as well, or you can give it colors, or you can give it pictures or video, or you can add text into that, or text and images. So this is where it all starts to come together. And then you will scroll up and down the page, and as you scroll up and down the page, you will go past your text and images and content, and then past some attractive background images on some of the strips. And as I say, you can add video, you can add gradient, so you can gradient the color. So you can have dark gray at one end and light gray at the other, and then you can move the gradient around. So you can do an awful lot with how the website looks, and it's really just your imagination which is limiting you. What I would suggest is that when you're using colors on a website, decide on the colors you're going to use, have 2 or 3 or maybe 4 colors, find the colors you like, check the hex code, which is the color code, and make a note of them, and then just use those colors. Don't best guess the colors. Oh, it was just off red. It's going to look a mess. So make sure you get the hex code right. and then keep a pad with the hex codes there. You can add the hex code onto your computer if you've got a color swab on your Mac, and then just add them in there, and then you'll always use those hex codes, and it makes designing so much easier. So there's the hex code at the bottom, as you can see, changing. So just decide on the hex code you like, and then make a note of it. Scrolling. Some themes have different scrolling options. So some will have a reveal, so that when you scroll down a long page, the sections will reveal themselves to you as you scroll down. Some of them have got parallax, which means that as you scroll down, it looks like almost there's a gap in the web page with a photo behind, and you scroll over that. So there's all sorts of options worth playing with. Weebly tends to largely have parallax and reveal, or none at all, so just a flat scroll down. And I would suggest don't go nuts on things like parallax, because it can look a bit weird, but as you can see here, it is quite attractive. So you've got it scrolling over a fixed image in the background. So the odd sector can look quite good, the odd section can look quite good if it's in parallax, or if it's in reveal. So have a play around with that. It might be worth getting the look of the website right first before you put the text in. So just have an idea in your head about what text you want on which page, and which page is doing what job. Because once you know that, you know what sort of feel you want for the page, you know what information you need on the page, and you need a call to action in some pages. For instance, on a landing page where people are arriving from nowhere, you need a call to action at the end of it all to subscribe, or to go to the shop, or to buy a product. So you need to have in your head what you are trying to achieve before you start designing. And then set up the design after you've done the theme. And then after you've done that, you can start to fill in the words and the copy that you've worked out that you want on each page. Images as well, adding images. You can use stock images, but images are all really. So try whenever possible to get some good quality images that are pertinent and relevant to your particular business.